Hello my scrappy friends, and a big welcome to my YouTube channel today. It is Melinda Sweetman here with you for Cut to You using the April Cut of the Month cut file. Happy moments with this beautiful floral, and here is the page that I created. You are not going crazy, it is a Christmas page. We are in April, and if you haven't followed me for a long time, you probably don't know that I just scrapbook whatever I feel like calls to me at the time. And when I saw this cut file, obviously this cut file is so versatile. There were so many different things, but I flipped through some recent photos and found one of me and my youngest son. It was actually taken on the 30th of November last year, and we were putting our Christmas tree out. Well, we discovered, I think the year before last, that it's easiest if I fluff the tree by myself the day before we actually decorate the tree. It's less painful for everybody. So that's what I was doing, but my youngest decided he wanted to help me. So the two of us put on our Christmas hats and fluff the tree together, which was fun. And I thought it would be a fun little memory to document. As you can see, I have decided to colour these gorgeous florals again with my Copics. I did show you the colours that I'm using. The greens are YG67, YG17 and YG03, I think. My hand covers up most of what I'm doing, but you can kind of see what I'm doing. My marker is almost straight up and down, and I'm just doing flicks. I've gone in with my darkest colour first and added the shadows where I think they'll be, and then I'm blending out some of that darkest colour with my next colour, and then I will do flicks over the top of all of that just to blend it all together, but you do see the flicks in all of the colouring, and I really love the way this works. You can see I do bring my cut file back over, so I've used my cameo again and had that trace the florals with a pencil and then cut around the edge. I do need to do a little bit of trimming once all is said and done after it's stuck together, but this made it much easier. And bring in that cut file just to see how everything is looking behind the cut file, making sure there's no weird gaps where I've missed colour or anything like that. I'm going to do my florals in reds, and I'm using one of my favourite, probably my most favourite Christmas red, which is R59, 29, 27, and my lightest is R24. And I've just left in a little bit of this for you, but you can really see the flicks in these florals here. They stand out way more, I think. So again, I'm just bringing in the cut file, making sure it's all sitting properly. My youngest came out at one point and was like, "Wow, Mum, that looks really pretty," while it was on my board colouring. And I was like, "Yeah, but look how amazing it looks when I put the cut file over the top. It kind of looks messy and unfinished before you put the cut file over the top." He's like, "Don't be so silly, Mum." Anyway, I showed him and he was like, "Wow, you're right, it does look so much better." But that's my floral all coloured up. You can see that I have backed my letters using a green pattern paper. This is, I think, a Bella Boulevard one. It's got little hearts on it, and I am using it as the border on my 12 by 12 as well. But I thought I would use, I've just dug into my Christmas stash and like my regular stash, and I'm using some older Christmas paper. It is I can't remember, the one with the gnomes. It's one of those collections. No, photo play paper. There we go, photo play paper. I'm using it's an older collection, probably 4 or 5 years old, but I love it so much, and I'm using that's where the black pattern paper's from. I wanted to add a little bit of dimension to my cut file, but not tons. So I've got some thin cardboard here that you can see I'm just trimming down to strips. I'm going to show you really quickly what I'm doing. I'm just going to add strips along here. I do end up doing 2 layers on the back of my cut file. You see that here, and I just go all over the back of the cut file and do that. Nice and easy, just popping the last little bit on there. It gives a little bit of dimension, but not too much, and I love how this cut file looks. I'm so happy with it. I've added some stitching around my photo, and I've also added some stitching around my 12 by 12, well, it's a little bit smaller than 12 by 12 background. And I'm just matching my photo here. I found this red glitter cardstock. I was like, oh, I can add red glitter to this. That's pretty special. So of course I do a photo mat in red glitter. The other bits are again from my stash. I literally just dove into my Christmas stash and pulled out bits and pieces that I thought I could use. That's what's on the little plate there. And I'm just going for it. This is the other side of that green pattern paper that I've used for my cut file. And I felt like I wanted to add a box, but I wasn't sure exactly how big or anything like that. So I have popped my photo up to the top right hand corner and cut a rectangle here, and I think you will see me, I'm going to pull my laser apart in a sec. Something's not sitting straight. It drives me insane. But you can see what I'm trying to do here. I'm just trying to gauge where I want my pieces to sit, where I want to cut that green strip. I knew I needed somewhere to journal. Obviously I can't journal straight onto my background. So I'm just playing with the placement there. I think every year at some point that is not either July or December, I ask how everyone feels about scrapbooking Christmas in not December or July. Are you like me, you'll just scrap whatever photos call to you at the time, or are you I will only scrap at that particular time? I'd love to know. I am often guided by what products I want to use and find photos that work with those products. Right, so I'm happy with where I've got all that, and I did play with the idea of having my cut file overlap that photo block by a tiny bit, but I didn't like it. I didn't like the weird gaps I got between like the top of the A and the P and the Y, so I bumped it up just a little bit. And I'm just going through the pieces that I have pulled out to come up with a layout design that I like. Knew I had this space on the left that I could add some embellishment to, but I also knew I didn't want to cover up too much of it because that is my journaling space. I moved this little label around to 1,200 different places, and spoiler alert, I do not end up using it. You can see I'm holding down that cut file while I'm trying to place things. I should have just used my magnets because I know how handy they are, but obviously that didn't occur to me at the time. So I got this far, I pull out the label. I love this little Polaroid, this little frame. It's so cute. And I'm going to make that work in this little space here. It's kind of going to be home for my little house and my Christmas tree. I've got these old December Daily tabs. I think that one says today's story. I've just folded that over. I've got these are, you can't really see, but they are white glitter hearts, chipboard hearts. So I've got 3 of those. I've got this gorgeous deer. I love him so much, but he is a little bit too big for this page. I do end up finding one that's a little bit smaller, but you'll see me do that in a minute. I'm trying to find the right placement for these hearts. I feel like those 2 on the right are 2 in a straight line, so that one down the bottom gets moved around about 100 times. I think I give up. We'll put it somewhere. Yeah, I'll put it up there, thinking I can always come back to it. Pop that one down there. I'm really happy with how all of this is looking so far. But like I said, I wasn't sure about that deer. He looked really big. So then I found the puffy stickers, and I was like, yes, this is actually, so this puffy sticker sheet and obviously the other deer are from, I want to say like a 2014 maybe, Pink Fresh Studio collection. I love it so much. As you can see, I love it so much I haven't used it. I've got to find just the right page for it. So I was super happy. I only get a few pieces on, but I do love this collection, and I love that I've got some of it onto a page instead of sitting in my stash. Again, I'm just playing with, you know, these micro adjustments and making sure that everything is the correct millimeter away from everything else. We're funny creatures as scrapbookers. And I've got these 2 little word strips. They are chipboard, and I can't really read what they say. I think one says wonderful memories and the other says something else, but one is in the green and then one is in the aqua blue colour. I love this colour scheme. It came together beautifully. I love the pops of red. The that Christmas word is an Ellie Studio puffy sticker from, again, a couple years ago. I am finding that I'm really enjoying getting through some of my stash, getting it used up, putting it on pages and documenting memories, which is fun. So I'm using my magnets now. I wanted to make sure that my title was straight. I knew that if my title was off, it would drive me insane. So I'm using my T-square ruler and, like I said, my magnets. Just going to add some wet glue behind everything, and I'm pretty sure that I'm going to jump forward and everything's stuck down. I did cut my little deer in half. Don't tell anyone, I actually feel really bad, but I did cut my little deer in half. He just fit better without all of his body behind there, and no one will ever need to know, so please don't tell anyone. I'm really not a deer herder. Anyway, I have scattered some of those puffy stickers in those 3 embellishment clusters, and now I'm coming in with these matte gold enamel dots. These are also from Pink Fresh Studio. I love them so much. I also added one little enamel, it's not an enamel dot, it's an enamel Santa, and he's winking. He's so cute. I was like, I want a little cheeky Santa on this page, so that's what I went with. Just adding my enamel dots. I'm going to do, I think I do 3 lots of 3, 1 in each cluster. Some gold splatter. I'm just going to add that, I think, again in those 3 places. And then I will add my journaling off screen. I'm pretty sure I photographed with my journaling on. I had so much fun creating this page. When I stuck that cut file together, I was so impressed. So glad I took the time to colour it. Yeah, I think it looks really, really pretty. I love it so much. I don't really have a lot more to say about this layout. Make sure you head over to the Cut To Use store. This is the fun April cut file. I'm about to cut the May cut file as well, which is another super fun one. Here you can see my page all finished off. I do add in some journaling lines with pencil and a T-square ruler, and that is my page completed. There are a few close-ups here. As always, I do want to take a minute to say thanks so much for choosing to spend your scrappy time with me. I truly do appreciate it. If you have any questions, please make sure you drop them below. And I really appreciate the time that you choose to spend with me, and I'll see you in my next process video. Have a fantastic scrappy day, my friends.